Hey, lovely people. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm glad you're excited, Seabucks, because I'm a bit scared, I must say. I think this camera is a little bit too much to that side, so I'm just gonna... Sorry guys, it's been a mad rush to get to this point. Bear with me. Okay. Let's just put this music down a little. How's everyone doing? Yeah, I did change it a little bit. I don't know if it's any. Let me. Right here, guys. I hope that's okay. That light is super bright, but we shall manage. We shall manage. How is everyone doing on this Friday evening? Hope you're all doing well. Bear with me while we do some minor adjustments to kick this all off. I think we're all okay. Let me know how the audio is, guys, if it's too loud on the music front or I'm too loud. Let me know. I think we're good. Good. So who have we got? Mario, Seabucks, my favorite, SKU Productions, Aiden. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the very first stream. And like I said, this is just going to be open to you guys. I realize I get a lot of the same questions on my videos, and I find I have to answer pretty much the same stuff. Not that I mind, guys, not that I mind at all, but there's certain things that a lot of people need to know, and there's certain questions that come up a lot. So I thought, let's take this opportunity for those people to come forward. And I'm not an expert, guys. I'm just telling you what I know and sharing my knowledge with you. So if I can make your lives easier, that's all I'm looking for. It's a struggle. I mean, starting out, whether it was freelancing, print on demand, it's hard work. My mom is here. Hey, mom. Hey, mums. Yeah, if you guys want to share your shops, I do get a lot of messages on Instagram. A lot of people ask me to review their shops, and it's a difficult thing for me because looking at a shop on the whole is, I mean, a shop is made up of excuse me, individual designs, and sometimes I want to kind of zero in on one design and say, oh, I know like 10 different ways to make this better. And oh, this design, I know, another few ways to make this better. So I find it really hard to do shop reviews because I tend to want to just go into each design and tell you guys how to improve them. So, I mean, if you guys want to share shops, I can certainly... Oh, actually, I think I've got links disabled. So if you tell me your shop name, if you do want me to have a look at your shop, let me know your name and I'll look you up in Redbubble and we can do it that way. But I don't think you're allowed to post links in the chat, unfortunately. Okay, guys. So that said, like I said, I'm no expert. I try my best. There's a few things I found. April last year is when I started to notice that I could do a few things differently in my shop, and I started seeing more sales, and it boosted my confidence. It boosted my hope in the whole print on demand thing, because up until that point I thought, I just thought everyone was lying to me. I was like, how can anybody be successful in this? Because I think my designs are okay and they're just not selling. And I was just getting really, really disheartened about the whole thing. It's a difficult thing to get into, and I think as time has gone on with more competition, it's even harder these days to get a shop off the ground and get sales. And when I started to see sales, all I wanted to do was kind of give people a pep talk. I wanted to help other people that were in my position a few months before that, and I wanted to give them hope that there is a way for you guys to kind of, if not make a lot of money, some kind of money. So that's when I shared my first Redbubble video, and people seemed to like it, and I kind of started sharing more as I was learning more. But like I say, I'm no expert, guys. I'm just learning things as I go and sharing them as I figure out things. So okay, the chat is going. Let's try and get some questions answered here. These noise cancelling headphones, I cannot even hear myself speak. That's a little better. Let's get rid of one. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. Do you ever think that you're a bad designer? Scoo, I'm going to call you Scoo. That's easier. All the time. All the time. I doubt my skills, and I get terrible imposter syndrome, which if you look it up, it's kind of a condition where you always think that no matter what it is, where you've got in life, you've got there not by your skill, but by some weird fluke and luck, and you don't really have the skills to back yourself up. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but I get terrible imposter syndrome, and I kind of think, anybody can kind of do what I'm doing, and it makes you doubt yourself, and it makes you think that what you do is not very special. So I get a lot of self-doubt, and I think that's true for anybody in any kind of creative sphere, whether it's be design, music. I think self-doubt is a terrible thing, especially when you kind of pip yourself up against people that you admire, and you see yourself lacking, and it's kind of like, I see what they're doing and they do it so much better. The key is getting to a point where you can be inspired by that person instead of feeling bummed out by the fact that they do it better than you do. Turn it down a little bit. Right, I'm gonna turn the music slightly down, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm not even looking at my chat. I'm just talking so much crap. Bear with me, guys. This is we're fumbling on as we go. I hope the music's not too overpowering. So yes, I do doubt myself as a designer daily, but I try, and instead of being intimidated by people who do it better than me, I try and be inspired by them, and aim to learn. Always aim to learn. No matter how good you get at something, there will always be someone who does it better than you. And the key is not to try and pip yourself against those people. The key is to try and do a similar job, but in your own way. Bring something new to the table. But yeah. Let's have a look where we are. How am I? I'm fine, Seabucks. I'm okay. I had a couple of glasses of wine before I started this, so Friday night and all. We can't go out, so we've got to have fun at home. So I'm feeling good, to be honest. How to get a client as a social media designer. Do you know what? Social media design is a big industry these days. It's a big industry, and it's kind of intimidating to me because every business these days has some kind of social media presence, whether it's a Twitter account, Instagram, Facebook, and they all need graphics. Posts that are just text aren't going to cut it these days. All of those businesses need branded graphics to sell their message, sell whatever they're selling, to build up a brand. So social business marketing is a big area. And as a result, I think as a social media designer, you need something a little bit extra. And what I mean by that is, because you've got so much, when you're scrolling through whatever it is, there's so much competing for your attention that you need to be able to make compelling graphics that actually stops people from scrolling and look at that thing. And that's what businesses are after. They're after those, they call them thumb-stopping graphics. And I think that goes into the realms of, if you want to be in social media business marketing design, you need to go into the realms of learning psychology, the psychology of color, what makes people stop and look at the thing that you've designed, and not just about making pretty pictures. There's a lot more psychology to it. So I think it's a big area, but it's also, if you know what you're doing and you can market yourself in a certain way, it's where things are going. So how to get clients in that way, I think, is pretty much starting small. Showing your worth. I think if you can back up your, not just, if you're doing any kind of social media design, it's a good idea not to just have a portfolio showing those designs, but showing what came of those campaigns. So when you can back it up with numbers, engagement, percentages, all of that kind of stuff, and you can show that to future clients, that you make graphics that actually help this business gain a certain percentage of likes or engagement, I think that's very important. But it's not my specialty, so it's not something that I can actually give a lot of advice for. But I think these days clients want to see that your graphics actually made them, or made your previous clients, money and gave them engagement and opportunities. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. How long did it take you to shift from your previous job to full-time print-on-demand designer? Alrighty, so I used to work at IBM for 6 years as a in-house corporate designer slash production assistant slash basically anything in the media sphere that they wanted to chuck at me, we did it. We had a small team and we did loads of media stuff. And I found working in corporate design is, I felt very stifled. I felt, you've got to remember, when you work as a freelance designer, you can work for loads of different companies, different clients. You work with different styles and art styles and all that kind of stuff. But when you're working for a corporate client, you're working within their brand guidelines all the time. You're very restricted. And having worked there for 6 years, having worked there for 4 years, I knew I wanted to go freelance. So it was a case of, how can I make this happen? I was on a very good salary, and I knew that I would basically be going from a very well-paid job to nothing. And a lot of people suggest that you try and find some clients before you leave your full-time job, which I did not do, but I did have a lot of savings. I had enough savings that I knew I could ultimately have 6 to 8 months of no client work and still be okay. And that would pay my bills and everything else. And that's what I did. I saved for a year before I left work. Probably about £12,000 I saved up. And I left. I had nothing. I had no clients lined up. I had absolutely nothing. And that was October 2018. And I found, I don't know if you guys know Passive Owl, that YouTuber who does Redbubble content. I found one of his videos and he was talking about designing stuff for Redbubble. I thought, that sounds pretty interesting. And I thought, I've got the time. My whole idea was to start some kind of passive income business while I did other stuff to get clients. And I thought, when the time comes that I don't have client work, if I can have a passive income stream that can help out when I don't have that client work, that'll be really good. So that was the idea. The truth was, I kind of ignored the fact that I hadn't got clients, and I just kept doing print on demand stuff, and the money started running out. And luckily, just as kind of money was getting really tight, I started making some sales on print on demand. I started getting a few clients, and things kind of picked up, and they've slowly built over time. But it was hard, guys. Even now, there's still month to month, I'm thinking, have I got enough work on? Have I got enough income coming in that I can cover everything I need to cover this month? So let's turn the music down a little more. I hope that's better, guys. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look, guys. Iden, simple and beautiful. Okay, I'll make a note of that. Let me just answer what questions we have, and then we can have a look at your shop. Hopefully I can find it. How to replicate a design with some changes fast and easy, any tools, etc. Now this is a difficult one, guys, because I get what you're saying, because I know a lot of people, especially when I was starting on print on demand, a lot of people were suggesting that in order to be successful on print on demand, look at what is selling, the kind of designs that are selling, recreate it, but in your own way. And I kind of got what they were saying, but I thought a lot of people were just flat out copying certain designs and just changing some colors. And I thought that was a bit cheeky, because I'd hate as a designer to come up with a really cool design and someone just copy it and change a few colors, change, tiny bits and sell it as their own. So I never ever wanted to get on board with that stuff. So I would never condone flat out copying anybody's work. But I bought this recently, and it's a really cool book. And it says nothing is original. Everything's been done before. The only thing we as designers or artists do is take inspiration from stuff that's come before us, as long as we do it in a way that's unique, in a way that changes that initial thing. So it's basically taking inspiration of the world around us, because we know we can never ever truly ever make something that's unique. It's all been done. But if you learn how to look at stuff you really like and wing it in your own way and make something unique from that thing, it's an interesting little book, like a $5 from Amazon. I do recommend it. So I'd never recommend stealing someone's designs or trying to put your own spin on some, unless you kind of can, where the line is between copying and being inspired by something. We do have a few shop shares, so I will try and get around to as many of those as I can, guys. Do I sell on TeePublic? Yes, I do. TeePublic has gone dead for me. Is anybody else having any kind of joy? I find whenever I go on TeePublic, the biggest selling things seem to be political based designs, and I guess I haven't jumped on the bandwagon in creating any kind of political stuff. So maybe that's why I'm not being kind of showcased on TeePublic. But for a while, I was making more money on TeePublic than Redbubble, but since COVID hit, TeePublic has been dead for me, absolutely dead, and Redbubble's gone through the roof. So I do sell on TeePublic. It's really dead for me right now, though. Really, really dead. How's the music, guys? Is it... The book is written by Austin Kleon. I've got another book of his. I can't remember the title though, but he's written a couple, and they're really easy to get to. I mean, it's just lots of pretty pictures, but it gets straight to the point, you know. I'm sorry about the music, guys. I hope that level is okay and it's not too jarring. Jesus, that red bubble just splashed right in my nose. Thank you for this nice opportunity. I appreciate you very much for your honesty and simplicity. Well, thank you very much. Is it Jessie or Gessie? Thank you. The only reason I make this type of content, guys, is because at the time when I started making Redbubble stuff, it only seemed to be Lisa Irby, who is awesome, Passive Owl, who I mentioned before. But the main print-on-demand content on YouTube was just Amazon merch stuff. And I found that there was not many other people were speaking about Redbubble. And when I finally started getting some success, I just wanted to share that. But my channel was not meant to be a print-on-demand channel. It was just meant to be me talking about graphic design, doing tutorials, and talking about freelance stuff. But people seem to like the print-on-demand stuff, so I kind of just carried on. So I'm really glad you're here, and I'm really glad you find it helpful, guys. Here is one question. How many designs do you have on Redbubble, and how many of them do you upload daily? Let's have a look, shall we? I think I probably have about 280 on Redbubble, and I try to upload at least once every week, and if I can, but I haven't. I've been really slack lately. I've had some client work on, and it's just meant that I haven't been able to even think about what I want to create for Redbubble. So it's kind of just, but I would recommend, and I've said this before, that you upload at least one design to Redbubble every month. After my first Redbubble video that I made, a technician from Redbubble contacted me, and he said he wanted to give me a few extra tips based on what I'd already shared. And one of the things he did say was, make sure you upload at least once a month, because it keeps the algorithm happy with you. So as long as you can keep the algorithm happy, you can maintain regular sales. So I try, if I'm busy, I try to upload at least once a month. Let's have a look. 247 designs on Redbubble. Should we put the music off completely? Let's put it off. How's about that? Then we don't have to. Guys, that is not my music, by the way. I wish I could play my music. That's some free copyright, free music. That's okay for YouTube. What would be your self-taught graphic designer roadmap? I do see a lot of self-taught programmer videos, but not on graphic design. That's a difficult one, because we're in a really weird situation. Well, by weird, I mean good. That's what I mean. In that we've never really been in a situation where you can do everything you possibly need to do as a graphic designer at home. All you need is some kind of machine, some software, and an internet connection. So in every way that matters, we have more resources at our fingertips, especially for a self-starting graphic designer, to get off the ground straight away with not having to know the right people, put ads in the paper. Having an online presence these days is everything. and having access to sites like Dribble and Behance and Instagram means that we can show our work. So we can market ourselves as designers so much more effectively, even if we haven't had a proper education, whether it's a degree or college or whatever. It's still hard though, because there's so much competition, and it's knowing how to market yourself. Now, even though I did design at college, I have a degree in design, I worked 6 years as a corporate designer, that meant nothing in the broad spectrum of things. When I became a freelance, I had to start right at the bottom. I had a very limited portfolio because I didn't have any work that I could share from IBM because it was all under NDA. So I had no working portfolio to work from. I couldn't showcase stuff that I'd been working on. So I had to start as if I was a fresh designer straight off the boat. And it was difficult because one of the things that I needed to learn was how to promote myself, how to promote and market my skills. And I think it doesn't matter if you're the best designer in the world or you have zero skills. If you don't know how to market yourself and how to go out and actively find clients, it can make life very, very difficult. And that was a big stumbling block for me in learning how to approach clients, how to negotiate fees, payments, all of that kind of stuff. So I think regardless of if you've had an education or if you're self-starter in graphic design, it's going to take a lot of work to get your reputation out there. But one of the most powerful things that you have at your disposal is word of mouth. So if you can get a few good local projects done and those people speak to other people, I think that counts for a lot, as opposed to trying to find random clients online. Canva. Hey, Catherine. Hope you're okay. I have zero experience with Canva. As far as I know you can use it as a tool for graphic design, and especially for t-shirt design and print-on-demand design, but I can't say more than that, I'm afraid. I don't see why not. If you've got the freedom to at least make sure you can design on transparent backgrounds and that the graphics in Canva are able to be used and sold, then I don't see there being a problem. Oh, so you can't. Okay. Thanks, Zigzag. No, you can't, Catherine. I'll take Zigzag's word over mine because, like I say, I've got no experience. Ayube, I'm good. How are you? What are the chances to keep selling after you sold some products? Very, very, very good, I would say. The most important thing I've found about Redbubble is when I first started out and I was just making designs that I liked, I wasn't really researching or doing proper keywording or anything. I was just making designs that I thought looked cool. And one of the things I noticed is when I started researching my newer designs and putting those up, loads of my older designs that are in no way optimized, they don't have good keywords, they started to sell too. So somehow I pleased the Redbubble gods because I started making regular sales on newer stuff, that suddenly my older stuff started being sold as well. So it was a weird situation. The more sales I make, the more sales I seem to make on my older stuff as well. So who knows? I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Does it mean that your shop is seen as a more saleable shop and then therefore Redbubble promote older designs that perhaps never sold in the first place? I'm not sure. But I certainly can tell you that if you start making, 1 or 2 sales of a certain design in, say, a month, it can kind of have a knock-on effect. Redbubble, the algorithm recognizes that this is a sellable design, and it does more to promote your design elsewhere. So when I go on my analytics and I start seeing regular sales on a design that's perhaps never sold, I start seeing that it's because Redbubble have been promoting it in their newsletters or social media accounts and all that good stuff. So yeah, one sale doesn't just mean one sale. One sale means that it's kind of putting your score higher up in the algorithm in general, and it means that your other stuff have a higher chance of being sold. That's just what I found. Very low volume. Are you sure? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? I don't know how to boost this. Can I boost? Let me know if the audio is okay, guys. I hope it is. If not, I'll speak really, really close. Okay, let's have a look. Thanks, guys, for the shop names. I will get around to having a look at a few shops just after I answer these initial questions for you. How can we get design clients from Instagram and Facebook? Well, if you find out, Ahmad, tell me, because I have no idea. Facebook, I know Facebook is a really, really powerful marketing tool for artists, for any small business really. And I don't think I've taken as much advantage of Facebook as I really should be taking. I certainly think it's possible. Instagram is similar. I think you just need to be consistent with your uploads, interact often with other artists, get your name known as a... The thing is about graphic design is such a broad area. You want to make yourself known as a specialist in a niche, in a small niche. And to do that, you need to make sure that you're the person that people think about when they think, I need a certain type of design, let me go to so-and-so. So it's just about being consistent, uploading regularly. I've got a couple of inquiries from Instagram, never from Facebook. From Instagram, I've had a few people saying they would like to buy my stuff, or can you make me this or that? But with regards to relying on those two platforms as a regular places for clients to find you, I can't give you any advice on that. Do I use any other print-on-demand sites apart from Redbubble? I do. I have a Redbubble, merch by Amazon, TeePublic. I uploaded probably 3 things to Society 6, but it wasn't quite my thing. I think Society 6 is more for kind of pattern kind of designs. I couldn't really jump on board with. Spreadshirt, I think I put about 3 things up on there, and that was it. So I think for a while it was actually TeePublic was my most successful platform, but TeePublic is dead to me now. I have no idea what's happened, but I'm not making very many sales on TeePublic these days. So Redbubble is my focus. And what I tend to do is design for Redbubble. Whatever seems to be selling, I will just duplicate it over to my other platforms from there. Who is that book written by? Sorry, it's Austin Kleon. It's a really thin little book. It's really, really good. He's written another couple of books. Pick them up from Amazon for about $5. It can be. I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure if you can sell on Etsy and Printful as a Nigerian. I don't see why not. I really, really don't see why not. Because I don't think using Etsy and Printful is it's not really dependent on where you're situated in the world, because as long as there's a local printful that can actually distribute to where your clients are based. For example, on my Etsy store, which I haven't touched, I don't think I've actually renewed any of my listings on Etsy. I just don't have the time, guys. It's so difficult to juggle so many print on demand platforms as well as all the other stuff I do. So, but I'm sure that you can be based anywhere and Printful will ship to most countries. So I think you'll be okay, but you might have to look at the small prints on both Etsy and Printful. Music is good. I don't know, guys. Should I mean, if it's just so my voice doesn't bore you, you've got something else interesting to listen to as well, you know? TeePublic banned my account for no reason, not responding to email, so be aware. I would say, Shashi, that TeePublic take no prisoners. There's been 3 people that have stolen my designs, and when I contacted TeePublic, now I will say on Redbubble, if I ever have design theft, there's a form you fill out, and they normally, all they do is they go to the designer, they say, we're going to remove this design from your shop, and they remove it. But TeePublic won't only do that. The first time I reported someone had stolen my design, they sent me an email back saying that they had not only cancelled or deleted the design, they'd also banned the user. So they take no prisoners. So it might have been someone reporting you for something. And I think that's a problem, because it's all well and good. I could have lied. I could have reported someone and said they'd stolen my design, but really I'd stolen theirs and I was trying to get them removed. They asked no questions. They just banned the people straight out. So it was good for me, but I kind of thought, well, if I was on the other end of that, I'd have my account deleted and no explanation, and I'd wonder why. So yeah, it's just a risk of the job, really. Dan, as long as you keep to regular uploads, keep consistent, stick to those at least one a month, hopefully get some sales on that, and I think you'll be okay. The algorithm and the gods will forgive you, I'm sure. Hey, I want to ask you, what is the best site like Redbubble? I think Redbubble's the best, you know. I just think I might be biased. I really might be... I might be biased. I love TeePublic's upload. TeePublic's upload is so easy. It's so straightforward compared to Redbubble. The problem with TeePublic is whenever they have a sale, you get much less of a profit than you would do from Redbubble. So I am a bit biased. I do like Redbubble. It's personal preference, really. No problem, Ahmad. I'm glad I helped. If you search for your designs on TeePublic and they don't show up, they may have blocked your shop for search results, as explained to me today by an agent. Yes. I'm on a few of print on demand Facebook groups, and there's a few people that have reported the fact that they've contacted TeePublic because they're not seeing their designs, and TeePublic have basically come back to them to say, that's because we only basically put designs up that we like, in a nutshell. That's not exactly how they worded it, but Redbubble, for example, you put a design up, you put a description, you put a title, you give it 15 minutes, you search for it, and you can generally find it. It'll come up in the results. TeePublic, no, I don't know if they get manually reviewed or if there's some kind of criteria, but not all designs will be listed in the search results, no matter how unique your keyword is. If they don't think your design fits or is a good representation of the stuff they want to sell, they won't list your design at all. But you can still share the unique link to, if you've got, say, an Instagram group for your niche, you can still share that link in your marketing, and people will be able to actually see your design if they click on the link. But it's for all intents and purposes, it's unlisted. It's like gone into a black hole. I don't know, because I search on TeePublic and there's some terrible designs, and I think, well, how can this have passed the test and there's some really good designs that are not in the listings? I don't get it. It's very, very strange. What are the prerequisites for starting on Redbubble? Absolutely nothing, Ahmad. Nothing. All you need is some good designs. You make your account. The only restrictions to Redbubble is where you are in the world. I know certain people have reported not being able to make an account, or they can make an account, but as soon as they start to upload something, it flags their account and it basically gets closed down. So I think certain parts of the world, there are restrictions. That's the only downside. But other than that, you can you don't need to pay anything up front. It's pretty much make an account and upload. Displate. I actually really like Displate. I uploaded probably about 5 things. I completely forgot about that. Only because I started seeing a lot of ads on Facebook, and I thought I would buy this. I'd be happy to sell on this platform. And I looked into it, and a lot of my designs don't really work, because if you look at some of the best-selling stuff on Displate, they're proper illustrations that kind of cover the entire canvas, whereas a lot of my designs are basically for t-shirts. They kind of don't look great on a metal plate. And I think I've sold probably about 3 things on Displate, and I only made about $4 each time. So you don't get, considering how expensive the metal plates actually are, you're looking at, $60 to $80, maybe even more, and you're getting $4 per sale. It seems a bit like, I don't know, a bit of an FU to the actual creator of the artwork. So that part of things I don't really like, but as a company, as a product, I think they're really, really cool. Hey, Adam. Hope you're well. Sweet Valley, hi. I wish I knew your real name, because I just know you're Sweet Valley. Lovely to see you, though. I'm about 20 minutes behind on the chat. I know. I'm like, do you know what? I've had a couple of glasses of wine. I'm like, wah, 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 wah. Just talking for bloody England here. Martine, what's the best one piece of advice you have for people trying to sell items on Redbubble, apart from good designs or tags? One piece of, oh man, that's difficult. That is, do you know what? This is going to be, I know this is going to sound, she's preaching at me. But do you know what stops a lot of people from achieving what they want to achieve? Is because they see other people in that same position. So when I started looking into print on demand, I'd see people, saying that they were making thousands a month and they weren't designers. And I thought, well, I am a designer, so I'm already, halfway there. I thought I could be doing the same thing. And you kind of start, and month after month after month goes by, and you're not seeing any results, and you kind of feel really deflated, because you've had a person who's told you that it's possible, and it's kind of, they've said it's possible, but they haven't told you all the hard work it gets to get you there, right? So it's kind of like a lot of people at that point, when they realize the work involved, will stop. Will say, well, you didn't tell me it would be all this work, so I'm outie. because people were selling you a dream. They're selling you this idea that, oh, for next to nothing or next to no time for a simple text design, you could be making thousands. And that is just not realistic. What they really should be telling you is you can make this kind of money a month, but just be aware that it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of money, and it gets people's expectations correct right from the start. So you're not going into something thinking it's going to be an easy ride when really there's a lot of work. So I'd say the number one piece of advice I would say is patience and consistency, if I can put that at the end. It's going to take hard work, and nothing good ever came for free, right? And I think if you can get past the stage where people are lazy, right? Most people are lazy. They want things quick, easy, convenient. And there's a drop-off effect. So someone might sell an idea up here, people start doing it, they realize all the work, and they drop like flies. If you can get past that hump and keep going, your hard work will pay off. I promise you, you just need to put the work in. Guys, I'm sorry, I am trying to get everything. You're right, Seabucks. I think if you were banned on TeePublic, they would be able to see who uploaded the design first. But imagine if you had put a design, it was your own design on Redbubble, and it made amazing sales, and then you decided, oh, I want to put that same design on TeePublic, but someone had already stolen your design from Redbubble and put it on TeePublic months before you even thought of that. To TeePublic, it looks like they're the creator because it was up a long time before you actually got yours up. So that's where there's a bit of a gray area. Do you know what, Akbar? Fan art, I swear, I wish everyone could create fan art for whatever they wanted to all the time, because really it's like free promotion for the show or the book, and I just don't see why there's so much. I get it, but when there's a difference between taking, say, the logo from The Office, say the Dunder Mifflin, and I see people selling the Dunder Mifflin logo on a t-shirt, and they've literally stole the logo from the show, and they're getting money from sales of that. And I think that's a little different to being inspired by a TV show and making something that's related to that show, but it's something you've created yourself. I think there's a fine line between stealing and being inspired by. And I think fan art, why can't everyone just be able to create the fan art that they want? But we can't these days, we can't. But I think when it comes to, I know Rick and Morty is licensed by Redbubble, but I think you have to put it in one of your tags. Like, for example, I made some fan art for Shaun of the Dead, and I just put Shaun of the Dead in the tags. They picked it up. They sent me an email saying, we've seen you've created some fan art for Shaun of the Dead. We're just reviewing it. Once it's reviewed, it'll be up for sale. And it took a couple of days and it was up for sale. So I think you just have to put the correct tags in the tag area. But you might have to go in and see what those tags are. But that's all I did, and it was accepted. But you remember, because Rick and Morty have given their license for Redbubble to artists to create content, but if they don't think that the art is good enough to represent their brand, they've got the rights to say, no, I don't want this to represent Rick and Morty. So they can say, no, reject it. So remember that that's a possibility as well. Dan, should I sign up for more print-on-demand sites when my Redbubble shop is growing? Certainly. I would say don't stretch yourself too thin, but if you've made a really cool design for Redbubble, just optimize it for another site. There's nothing stopping you, and it doesn't take too much longer to get it ready for another site. So do it. Definitely. Because I found that some designs, especially merch, is a weird beast, isn't it? Some designs have sold like hotcakes on Amazon merch, and not even a whisper of a sale on anywhere else, and vice versa. So it just depends on the type of users that look. Like for me, I never look for shirts. I buy so much stuff on Amazon. I've never thought in my head, I want to find a cool t-shirt on Amazon. I buy my t-shirts elsewhere. So different sites have a different demographic and different markets. So you've got to remember that some of your designs might be perfect for the kind of people that visit certain sites. Other designs, not so much. So I would say if you're making for one platform, duplicate it and put it as many other places as you can. And then if you start getting sales, say it's a cute little, I don't know, cat design, and you start getting sales on that one platform, you know that that kind of audience likes cats. I mean, who doesn't like cats, right? So make more cat designs for that platform. Jen, if you can hear this, can you put the heating on? It's bloody cold in this office. Thank you. Mario, they shut down my TP account for no reason. I uploaded a basic draw of a whale and pum? Pern? Pum? Sorry. That's difficult. I mean, it could be anything. It could be a trademarked phrase. It could be one of your tags. I really, really wish if they're going to ban people, they need to give us reasons. I think not knowing why you're banned, it's like, well, what do I do now? I have no idea what I did wrong. It might be something. I know there were, I came across someone who was banned from Redbubble for using the Atari tag on one of the designs. It wasn't actually an Atari design, but they must have thought that, I don't know, people who like Atari like this might like my design. So they use it in the tags, and they got banned because apparently Atari take their trademark very, very seriously. So it could be so many things. I just wish they let us know what the hell they're banning people for. I hear you, Bugs. I mean, I have no idea. I kind of gathered, because my TeePublic has been dead for months now, I kind of gathered that maybe some of my designs have gone unlisted. But I don't have the time to check all the tags on all my designs and search for them. So I suspect that may be the case. They seem to be pushing a lot of political stuff, which makes sense on TeePublic at the moment. So I don't know. I really don't know. But TeePublic is dead for me, guys. Abhishek. Did I get that right? Okay, much more specific question this time. Beginner, got about 3 hours a day to practice. What exactly should I be doing? I know, no right answer question, but would love your suggestions. Do you know what? I wish I could show you. Let me try and see if I can show you. Like I said, I started on Redbubble. It was exactly this time 2 years ago. And I was amazed I wasn't getting sales, because I would see stuff and I would think, okay, I can make similar stuff to that. I would make similar stuff to that and wonder why I wasn't getting sales. And looking back at my designs 2 years ago, they weren't very good. So it's like, it's about keeping consistent, keep learning, find stuff that you really like. And what I used to do is I used to go on sites like Dribbble, Behance, and I would search for illustrations and just be intimidated by how cool some of the illustrations I was looking at was, and how I'd never make anything similar. But what I would do is I'd give myself little exercises. I would save them and try and recreate them. And through the act of trying to recreate stuff that I really liked, I learned so much about the tools I was using, about Illustrator, about Photoshop, and it gave me knowledge of how to create similar stuff using the tools and the methods that I'd learned trying to replicate someone else's work. And it's frustrating for me because even now I have ideas for really cool designs, but I know I don't have the skills to carry out that kind of level of illustration yet. But I know I'll get there. So I try and make stuff that's in my own style, that's similar, but obviously not as good in my own eyes. And then even month to month, if I look, like I have folders throughout the month, and if I look at stuff that I was making in January, I can already see that I can see so many different improvements that I do to that same design. So if I showed you some of the stuff I used to put on Redbubble, let me see if I can find an example. I think I've removed a lot of the really, really terrible stuff from my original Redbubble shop. Let me see. And that's the key, guys. I think if you can look at your old stuff and see how bad it is, you know you've improved. But when you look at your old stuff and you think, oh, that's really cool, to me, it kind of means that you haven't really developed much. And I would say you should be constantly trying to develop your skills. Constantly. Do you know what? I recently changed to an SSD on my PC. So now all my old stuff, it's like in a deep black hole of folders somewhere on my old hard drive. Oh, I hope I can find something. It'll give you hope. It'll give anybody hope. Because it's damn terrible, I'll tell you that for free. Here we go. What's this? I did move it to my other hard drive. Sorry, guys. Damn. Damn it. What's in here? Oh, damn. Well, that killed that, didn't it? Hi, Dan. I appreciate what you're doing right now. So beautiful and communicative. Well, thank you. Helping other people that could be potentially your competitors is very thoughtful. Do you know what, Aidan? I think I used to think that when I used to go on Redbubble in the beginning, and I used to see, best-selling designs, and I would see these designers as my competitors and thinking that I would have to out-design them to get the same amount of sales. And I don't think that's the case. I think everybody has something unique to bring to the table, and there's so many possibilities to take print on demand. I think a lot of us get kind of tunnel vision. We see certain designs are selling and we think, okay, well, I've got to create designs like that to sell. But really, they're only selling because, I don't know, they're either relevant to the moment or the trend or whatever it is. But really, there's space for everybody. I really do think. And I think if designers and creatives stop seeing each other as competition and start helping each other out, then our output can only improve. I just heard of a thing called Pod Connect. Yes, it's by the same people as Merch Inform. It automates uploads to a bunch of pod sites and keeps your formatting. Yes, they actually contacted me and they asked if I wanted to be an affiliate. If I promoted Pod Connect on my channel, then through anyone that used my link, I would get a percentage of the sale, and I would also get lifetime free access as well. And I thought it sounded good until I tried it. And I felt like I would be dishonest in promoting something to you guys that I wasn't finding a use for myself. Because what I found with it, because primarily at the time, they only uploaded to, so basically, PodConnect is a place where you can upload, say you upload to Merch, Redbubble, TeePublic, whatever. Ideally, it sounds like a place where you upload it once, put all your description and everything, and then you press a button and it sends it to all of your different sites. And that's what I thought, but it wasn't much use to me, because at the time they were only doing Zazzle, Redbubble, and another site I didn't use. So I was like, well, it's pointless to me because I only use Redbubble and I don't really want to promote this to people, because it seemed like the same amount of work, if not more, than what I was doing anyway. So I didn't really do much with it after that. But I've still got access. I'd certainly be open to trying it again if they've added more platforms, to see if it's any use. Conman, I tell you what. I make a lot of abstract designs, and when I first started out, I was making patterns, and they are the hardest thing to try and keyword. They really, they're really difficult, because other stuff is easy. You can kind of describe, what the design is, the art style, all that kind of stuff. You can use keywords around the audience that you're trying to attract and whatever else. But with patterns, you kind of, after about 5 to 10 keywords, I'm out. I have nothing else to say to try and sell this pattern. It's very difficult, and I empathize, because I don't think all the patterns and abstract designs that I've created, I don't think I've made one sale. I don't know how to crack that yet. I really don't. It's a really difficult one, patterns and abstract stuff, because how do you describe it? It's abstract. It's colorful. I started putting, if I was using certain colors, I would use the colors as tag words, but I was stuck. I really was stuck. Do you think it's necessary to create designs based on popular brands or cultural icons? I don't think it's necessary, Pierre, but I do think that a lot of people use it as a way to start making some sales. I mean, I've seen some people on YouTube that share their shops, and they just make lots of collages of celebrities and stuff. And I think it's it's a thing that anybody could do, but it's risky. It's risky because you're using the likeness of someone that's... it's not only the likeness of a celebrity, it's the photographer who took the photo owns the rights to that picture. So there's a lot of risk, and I think it's very unlikely they'll come after you for that. But I also think that you building a foundation on work that's ultimately not yours. And I get it. You look at Redbubble and other print-on-demand sites, and you see people blatantly copywriting big brands, and you think, if they can get away with it, why can't I? I would say it's completely up to you, but it's risky. It's very, very risky. Jane. Okay, I'll remember that, Sweet Valley. No problem, Adam. I'm happy to help. Hi, Dios. Nice to see you. Okay. Yeah, I would imagine Rick and Morty is a little bit fussy about what kind of art they want to represent them, because I think on Redbubble there's that one Rick and Morty design that always seems to be in the top 5 pages of best-selling, and I never really see much else. So I often wondered, is there people actually making art for Rick and Morty? Because I never see it, but I guess they're picky. Hi, Mohammed. Lovely to see you. Oh, thank you, Seabucks. It was cold in here. Quinn, hi. Where do you draw your inspiration from and motivation for both designing, selling, YouTube? It's difficult, Quinn. It's really difficult. Although I would consider myself an introvert, I think I feed off other people more than I would like to admit. I would like to say that I'm an independent spirit that, you know, gets an inspiration from nature and the world around me. But really, I do need a lot of input from people around me. And I do respect, especially if that's one thing I miss about working in a corporate space, is I felt I used to push myself more because not only did I want to do a good job on a design or a project, I wanted to not let my colleagues down, because a lot of our work was based on reputation within the company. So we were trying to market ourselves as the preferred media choice compared to IBMers going outside and getting designers from outside the company. So we were basically competing against agencies on the outside and trying to market ourselves as a cheaper, better option internally. And so we were constantly pushing ourselves and our abilities. And I felt like every time I put something out, I needed the approval, and I wanted to make my colleagues proud to know that I was pushing myself further to be better, to make sure that we as a team looked better. So I would like to say that I am, a self-starter, but I'm really not. I'm a people pleaser, I think. If you give me something to do, I will try my best to get that done. But me trying to do something on my own, off my own steam, takes a lot more energy. Sorry, Abhishek. I think my Autobot didn't like your message, but I've just approved it now. But motivation, I think, especially during COVID, we're stuck. I feel like I'm stuck in this little office so many hours of the day. I guess it's seeing what other designers are doing. YouTube, Dribble, just often just scrolling just to see what people are up to, because I feel so cut off sometimes. And I think it's easy to get yourself designing or working in an echo chamber where you've got nobody to impress but yourself. That's why it's really nice to have clients, especially honest clients, who, when you give them a piece of work, they'll tell you honestly, okay, I like this and this and this. I don't like this. I need good feedback, because if I do stuff just to please myself, I don't know if I'm on the right track or not. I can go off on a bloody tangent. I need someone to rein me in sometimes or give me direction. So it's hard. It's hard to work for yourself and have all that direction coming from within. And believe me, it's been a struggle and a massive learning curve to try and do stuff on my own steam without having someone telling me what to do. And YouTube is very difficult, guys. I try to make content that I think I would appreciate, because I've always been on YouTube. YouTube has been my number one resource for years, and I respect the amount of work that YouTubers put into their content. So when I felt I had something to say, I wanted to make sure that it was relevant. I wasn't just making stuff to please myself. So I think half the time when I think of a good idea, I think, well, are people actually going to get value out of this thing? And if I find that answer is no, I won't make it. So I only want to make stuff that is actually going to be useful to you guys, as opposed to stuff that I think it just looks cool for looking cool, if you know what I mean. Any advice to apply to MBA for non-Americans? It seems to be rather impossible for people from out of the US. Mario, I got accepted first time, and it was only because I got some advice from someone else who said, when you apply, they basically, I don't know if this is true, but it worked for me. They want to know that you are professional enough and you have enough business acumen to make them money. They want you to make them money. So how I didn't send them any portfolios. I didn't send them any links to my work or anything like that. I just stated my background, my education, because it was relevant, the fact that I have a degree in design. And I said that I would be very vigilant in keeping an eye on numbers, making sure that I deleted designs that weren't selling, made sure I learned from designs that were selling, learned my lesson, made more of those things. And I made it sound like I was running as a business as opposed to just, can I sell designs on your website? So I think if they see a certain level of professionalism and the fact that you're serious about wanting to make sales, because any sale you make makes them money, I think that was the key, and that was the advice I was given, and it worked for me. But you can apply as many times as you want to. So if it does get rejected, just apply again. I wish you'd upload more often. More content on learning graphic design as much as marketing and selling it would be highly appreciated. YouTubers who you follow to learn, keep up to date with design. I wish I could upload more often. I really do. I think my problem is, like the last video I did, the stickers one, that took me about a week to put together, guys. And I'll tell you why. Because I cut off more than I can chew. All I wanted to do, I thought, let me just make a whimsical, easy video, and I'll just call it Making Stickers for Redbubble. I'll film myself making 3 different designs. I'll do a little intro and a little outro. I'll try and show like unique things in each of the designs and teach people a few tips as I go, and that'll be it. But no, as I was making it, I thought that's not enough. I need to give people more concise tips. So I had to not only record all of the me making 3 different stickers, I then had to obviously edit that, and then I did a voiceover. I thought the voiceover didn't work, so then I had to do a live to the camera, edit it all, sort out the audio. It ended up taking me a week between doing client work, and I thought, if I make every video with this much effort, I'll never have a chance to make any content. So I need to find a way where I can still upload regularly, because it's not as much work. Maybe more kind of just talking to the camera as opposed to trying to put too much kind of screenshot stuff, graphic-y animation stuff that I like to add. Maybe do 1 of those a month, and the rest of the time more just talking to the camera. But at the same time, sometimes I don't know what to make videos on. I don't know enough about how much you guys want to know or that kind of stuff to... I kind of have an idea of what I want to cover, but it's difficult, guys. Like I say, I'm too fussy in trying to sort out, what I want to make versus what I think you guys want to see. I'm talking for England, Jesus. Right, let's try to get through these. Hang on. Asazua. Hi, why is it so important to make that first sale on print on demand site? Does it influence the algorithm of the site in your favor going forward? Yes, it does. So I don't know if you've been here from the beginning, but when I uploaded my very first Redbubble video last year, 7 tips to make sales on Redbubble or something, I got contacted by a technician at Redbubble who said he liked the content and he wanted to give me even more tips. And I asked him a few questions. And one of the things he said, if you ever want to buy your own designs on Redbubble to either check for the quality or because you just like your own design, he said, do it from a separate account. Even though you get a discount buying from your own account, do it from a separate account, because he said, as soon as Redbubble sees that one of your designs has sale potential because it's already got a sale, it'll feature stronger in the relevant search results. So yes, even that one sale can make a massive difference. So if you do have people that either like your designs or you want to, buy some of your own designs to give away or review, do it from a separate account, because every sale counts. Saying that was a year ago. Who knows what happens with algorithms? It might have changed. I don't see that it would, though. Mohammed, how much I could... Okay, I presume you're asking how much could you earn in Redbubble if you work hard. That's a difficult one. That's kind of similar to asking how long until I earn my first $1,000. If you're lucky, it could be 2 months. If you're not, it could be much longer. So think of Redbubble as you're a salesman and you've got uncapped commission. The sky is literally the limit. You can make a shit ton, or you could make nothing. We're in a unique position as artists and creatives to be able to sell at a marketplace where we don't have to really do any of the hard work except make the design. Redbubble would be lost without us. They need artists to be able to sell, and we need them to a certain extent to be able to sell our art on a broader scale. So the sky is literally the limit, but I would love to know, like, you know, some of the designers you see all the time in the best-selling, I'd love to know how much they make a month, just on average, so, you know, we have some kind of idea. Hi, Em, looking good. Hey, TJ. A while back, you said to me that traditional art is notorious for not selling well on print on demand. Well, that's true. What would you suggest to this traditional artist here? Oh, man. It breaks my heart because there's been a few people who've shared their shops with me, either on Instagram or elsewhere, and they've said, oh, you know, what can I do better? And it's stuff that just, it's either, you know, really delicate watercolor kind of stuff or paintings, and it's difficult. It's a difficult one. And I think traditional artists have always had a bit of the short straw with regards to trying to sell their stuff, because if you don't have a following that you can refer to your stuff and try and get sales that way, it's a lot of people that search on places like Redbubble or TeePublic, they're looking for more whimsical, kind of funny, easygoing kind of stuff. They're not really looking for anything too artistic. And I don't mean that to sound like the stuff that's on Redbubble isn't artistic, but it's not kind of your traditional mixed media kind of stuff. It's mainly digital. I wish I could help you, TJ. If you figure that out along the way, let me know, because I think photographers do a little better on Redbubble, but even still, there's so much competition. It's just about making stuff that can still stand out and people actually want to buy, and finding the right tags as well for traditional art and photography. It's not as easy. Hi, I wrote a comment on your video earlier today. Didn't know you'd be live. Well, here I am, Juliana. I'm having trouble with 2 stolen designs on Redbubble. Yeah. I think I responded. I might not have. But Redbubble are really good. I've had a few people steal my designs. If you search for if you just do a search for Redbubble DMCA, you can get to the Redbubble help page that talks about the IP copyright laws. And if you scroll down, just copy and paste the text. They'll just want to know some details, and there's an email address. You just send all the details through on an email. It's normally, you have to give the details of your art. You have to explain what the art is. So if it's like a picture of a tree, you say it's a tree created in Illustrator. It has a white trunk. I have the digital files for proof that I made this, all this kind of stuff. You have to put a link of the person who's stolen your work, as well as just a little declaration at the bottom that says, I confirm that this is all, you know, right and true and blah de blah, your name, your address, telephone number, and within about 2 days you get a response from Redbubble saying it's all been sorted, the design's been taken down, and you can try the link, and normally you get a little error that shows the design's been taken down. It's super, super simple, Juliana. Just follow the protocol, send it to the right email address, and give the details that they ask. I'll link this in the chat. I popped a link in the chat, so follow those instructions and they're on your side, so don't worry. Oh, I lost where I was now. Hang on. Chidanand. I followed your tutorial for opening a Redbubble account, made the process so much easier. Thanks for that. Opened it 3 weeks back and got my first sale a couple of days ago. Well, I'm chuffed for you because I've still made 0 sales on that new Redbubble account, guys. I've not been useless because the idea about that Redbubble account was I would take you guys through how I made it, the promotions, how I find niches, how I had so many ideas for that account, but I suddenly out of nowhere, I started getting actual real client work and I kind of had to put it on the back burner. So you beat me, Chidanand, you beat me. I still have not made a sale. Well done. Nice one. You just made a sale, Bugs. Am I your good luck charm? It's because you were watching the stream, wasn't it? I'm chuffed. Do you know, I don't care how long it's been and how often it happens. I still get really excited every time I get that you just made a sale email. I'm interested in other people's opinion too. Advice strategy for beginners. Man. Mohammed, I would say, as a beginner, start with what you know and what you love. People often ask, what niches should I go into? And the truth is, I have no idea because I don't know you. I don't know what you like, what you enjoy. It's bad enough trying to find niches for myself. And I think the easiest thing to do is find, if you're really stuck and you don't know where to start with Redbubble, write down 5 things that you love, whether it's sports, whether it's books, reading, whether it's a hobby or an art style or a period of time like the 80s. Write down those 5 things and then try and kind of build on those things, because it's so much more interesting making stuff that you actually like and you as the target audience would actually buy. This song is super annoying. Hang on. It's like grating my brain. Start with what you like and just build it out from there. That's the best advice I can give you. Thanks for the insight. Hey, Benjamin. Best name, by the way. I feel like I'm the same way as a creative. Thanks for sharing that. I'm so behind, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but it's my pleasure. Is Merch Titans a good alternative compared to Merch Informer? I think so. I subscribed to Merch Informer for about 4 months when I was trying to take Amazon a little more seriously, and I found it super, super helpful. The only thing I used on Merch Titans, there used to be a free section where you could search for tags or something. I can't even remember what I used, and it was super helpful. But I only have experience in Informer, and that was really helpful. So I think Titans offers a trial period at least. Well, I would have hoped so. Try the trial and see if it's any good. Why won't you make this Q&A thing a regular weekly thing? I could do that, you know. I could do that. I kind of just wanted to get this first one out the way because I was very nervous about going live. The kind of thing about recording videos is the fact that you can edit yourself, you know, when you do waffle or where you look funny, and yeah, editing is powerful and live is scary. So We could go more often. I guess I could. I really would like to have. Oh wow, it's 10:30. Okay, I really would like to have had time to have a look at some Redbubble shops as well. So maybe I can kind of have a separate one just for reviewing shops or designs. We could do that, and then we could have a general. Yeah, I'd be keen in having this more often, guys. Iden, in a scale of 1 to 10, how successful would you rate yourself for your business? I feel like I'm treading water, Iden. I'll tell you that for free because although I've come a long way since I started out, there's still so much I want to do, and I'm still not quite at the level that I was when kind of my measure of success. I thought I wanted to be earning the same amount that I was in my full-time job within 2 to 3 years of being freelance. Um, because in my last job, I'd never been in such a comfortable situation ever. In the money I earned and the benefits I had, and I knew that leaving that I'd be sacrificing a lot. So I wanted to get back to that situation as soon as I could. So I gave myself 2 to 3 years to be earning the same as I was earning before I left my full-time job. And I'm not there yet. So come back to me in a year and we'll see how we're doing. I'll try and get around to at least one shop, Idan. I really, really will. Is favorite helps in Redbubble? Do you know what? I don't think favorites mean an absolute thing. I'm just going to go onto my main Redbubble shop right now, and I'll tell you how many favorites I have. Bear with me. Internet's a little slow, probably because of the stream. Oh wow, it's Redbubble's weird. Sometimes, at the top of your shop it says all the sales you've got, and now it's not showing anything. And your favorites. Where the hell is it? Bear with me, guys. Oh, here we go. So I found favorites, they tend to come from other shops. I don't really check them as often as I used to, but whenever I used to get favorites, I used to go and see who gave me a favorite, and it mostly came from other Redbubble shops as opposed to customers that liked my design. So I don't think they always translate to sales. I think when I favorite stuff on Redbubble, it's because I really like the design, and I like the style, and I want to see if I can emulate something similar, but not because I'm going to buy that thing. So at the moment, I've got just over 2,000 sales, 6.6 thousand favorites, and 90 followers. So I'm not sure, guys. I don't think it's super important, and I don't think a lot of it translates to sales, but I might be wrong. Hey, Pamela. No, I haven't. The closest thing I've come to promoting my stuff is I put a few things up on Pinterest, but I haven't done any paid ads or anything like that. Hey, Colt or Colin. Lovely to see you. I'm glad you're here. I have a niche photography account on RB. It doesn't sell anything, even when I send a lot of traffic its way. People who are interested in the niche. Yeah, photography. There's a girl on Redbubble on YouTube that I came across recently. I can't remember what her name is. But she's been making some Redbubble content quite recently. And And she recently made a video where she showed one of her photography designs, which is just like over the head drone shot of some waves. And she said she's made like £10,000 on that one photo. But I kind of think that kind of thing is pure luck. Because when you search for ocean or waves photography, there's so many on Redbubble. I think hers maybe got a few sales initially that set the ball rolling. But photography is, yeah, it's a difficult one, because I guess you're not really going to do many t-shirts. But then, to be honest, it does translate to most of the other products like coasters, posters, cushions, you know. It's a difficult one, because I think I've got some cool photos, and I always meant to kind of dredge them up and edit them a bit and see if they did any good on Redbubble. But I think photos are very similar to fine art as well, and traditional art. They're a tricky business on Redbubble. No problem, Juliana. I hope that is helpful. But in the past, like I've said, I've reported probably about 4 people on Redbubble. There's been a few that have copied my stuff, but they've done it their own way, and I kind of let them get away with it. But those people who literally copy and paste my stuff, I came for their asses. And I've got about 4 people reported, and they still have their shops, but I think they just got those designs removed. And Redbubble was super quick to come back to me and let me know that they had sorted it out. Yusuf, hi, I signed up on Redbubble on September the 26th, uploaded my first design on the 27th, and got my first sale last night. Woohoo! Which means after 20 days uploading designs, I've already uploaded 76. That's really good going. That's really, really good. Just keep it going. See, you've got that, the hardest thing on Redbubble is to get those first couple of sales. So as soon as you do, just keep going, keep capitalizing. I wish I got my first sale on my new Redbubble accounts. That account is dead. Nothing is happening on it. I haven't done much, but I need to get going on that one. You guys are doing well. Really, really well. Well, thank you, Yusuf. That's a lovely thing to say. Do you know what, guys? I get triggered. I do get triggered, because I do like to watch certain designers on YouTube. I watch a lot of creatives in general. I watch painters and people who do different types of creative stuff. And while I love their stuff, a lot of them do promote, and I get them. They've got to a point in their career where they can afford really good equipment. They can afford really good cameras. They can afford really good, I don't know, technology, really, whether it's Macs or tablets, drawing tablets, media, all that really cool stuff. And to someone just maybe coming into design, it can look very intimidating. It can make it seem like you need all of this stuff to even begin to make a start. And that is so not the case. That is really not the case. I built this PC in 2012. It's got an i5 processor, and it's absolutely fine. I have YouTube running on in the background when I'm working, or Spotify, one of the two. I normally have Illustrator running, After Effects or Premiere, which are very, very CPU intensive, multiple Chrome tabs, and my machine runs fine. So, you know, people who try and promote that you at least need this or you at least need that is no. Even your phone is good enough these days, guys. It's there's no barrier for entry to be a creative. Obviously the software, but even nowadays, I remember when I was at university, we were on Illustrator. Well, we were on the Adobe Suite CS3, and at the time you had to buy it. It was about 200 quid each. We're all students, we can't afford to have that, so we would like bootleg copies around, and share them, because it was the only way we could actually do our university work without having to be at university and use the school's computers to do our art. And the instructors actually encouraged us. One of my tutors one day, he knew we all needed Adobe 3D Max. Oh no, it wasn't Adobe 3D Max, which is a 3D software, and it was super expensive. None of us could afford it. So he just said, right, I'm leaving the CD on the side of my desk. It's got the program that you guys need on it. I'm going to leave it there. And when I'm finished today's lesson, I'm going to pick it up. So he's basically telling us, without actually telling us, please pirate this software so you guys have the program on your machine so you can. So back in the day, we had to buy or pirate a lot of our software. But these days, you've got programs like Inkscape. That's such a, I really struggle saying that word, Inkscape and GIMP, to, instead of having to use Photoshop and Illustrator. I would suggest, if you're taking design seriously, your Adobe Suite is the industry standard, and it's always a good idea to use those as you're getting more serious. But these days you've got so much free stuff, and you don't need a high-tech machine to run them. You really don't. Hey AJ, hope you're all right, dude. Benjamin, everyone's making sales. What's going on? Am I putting out like some good juju into the atmosphere or something? I haven't got an email yet that I've made a sale. See, I made one too, guys. Can you see that? But not on my new shop, that's my point. But awesome. I'm chuffed for you guys. The woman who stole it didn't even delete my signature on the design. What a little shit. Yes, please report her, Juliana. Definitely. That's so scummy. That really, really is. Would you recommend focusing in just one niche per store? I think a lot of people do recommend picking a niche and having a store that just serves that one niche. I think it's a good route. How I started, my store is very general. I've got some kind of niches going on, but I basically pick stuff that I like and what I think might look cool, and I go with that. And people have suggested having a general shop, and then as you start making sales on certain designs, make a second shop and sell just those designs. I've never tried that. But I think having a niche store is a good look for clients coming in, because there's a lot of potential to upsell. You know, if they're into kind of climate change stuff and they find your shop, well, they find a particular design, and then at the bottom of that design is all your other designs, and it speaks to them as well, they're more likely to go in and have a look at your other stuff, and you might get more sales out of that. I guess that's where collections come in. You can have a general store, but then have collections that have different designs in different collections. So you can do it that way as well. I would say experiment. Have a general store where you do different stuff, and depending on what kind of sales you get, you might want to think about making a secondary niche store. Hey Mahmood, hope you're well. No problem, Yusuf. I'm happy to help. Best way to increase Redbubble sales. The question is, Mahmood, have you made any sales yet? Because it's hard for me to give advice unless if you've done everything you need to do, you've got good designs, well optimized, you've got good keywords, good description, you're ranking for at least one set of keywords. If you've done all of that and you're just waiting for that sale, then it's just about being patient. But once you've got that sale, you want to capitalize on that. So you want to make more of that kind of thing. You want to recognize the audience that bought that thing. So if it's, say, a typography design for mechanics, make more of that thing. You know that your audience that you were aiming for liked it enough to buy it, so make some more of it, and use every sale that you make to inform every new design that you create. So if you're selling a lot of one thing, think, okay, this is obviously a niche, this is obviously an area that people really like. They like my style, the theme, whatever it is. I'm gonna make more of this stuff. And then as you make sales on a different niche, be like, okay, well, that's obviously a sellable design. I'm going to make more of that thing. So use your own sales to inform your new designs. Go mad. It's free? Jesus, okay. 3D Studio Max, that was a hard program to learn. Wow. It was tricky. And it used to crash my terrible old laptop so much. It was just, yeah, big, bulky program. And rendering, Jesus, I needed to keep it just a simple 10-second animation rendering all night. Nightmare. Hi, Dan, I'm praying for a sale for you too, mate. No problem, guys. Do you know what? I didn't realize we were nearly 2 hours in. That's absolutely flown by. That's absolutely flown by. I know that you guys shared some of your shops really early on. And I don't think we're going to have time, not if I want to do them justice, to have a look. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate it, and I apologize. So I think what I'll do is we'll have to do another one where we just concentrate on people's shops or separate designs that I can have a look at and give some feedback. So I'm really sorry for not being able to. Idan Designs. Don't worry, Idan. This chat will be saved, so I will take the time to have a look at everyone who shared their store names. Don't you worry. Right, guys, I think I might call it there. I hope that was helpful. I would like to do this more often. But yeah, we'll just have to, this was the first one, so I wasn't sure how we were. I was just hoping there would be enough people to ask questions, because I thought, well, if you guys don't ask me questions, I have nothing else planned. I'm just going to sit here and look at the camera waiting patiently. So I'm really glad you had stuff to ask me. But I think next time what we'll do is we'll try have more themed kind of one week we can do shops, one week we can do designs. But yes, I think we'll leave it there, guys. I was drinking this Red Bull to give me energy, but that wine, it's kind of knocked me out. I'm kind of feeling a bit, woo. It went straight to my head a bit. No problem, Adam. It's been lovely to see all you guys here. It really, really has. Thank you for coming. And we shall leave it there. And I hope you all have a good weekend. We'll probably have a new video next week at some point. I hope. Thank you, Seabucks. She's my biggest fan, you know. Seabucks is. She has the title of biggest fan. All right, guys. You take care. Let's see if these graphics work, yeah? See ya.